Oh man, what the hell, Hurtbox? Another arcade stick review, and there isn't a 7-month gap in between them? What kind of madness is this? Well, I'll tell you what it is. I got the Razer Panthera Evo. And I have to review it because it's the new shit. It's the hot stuff. Alright, so before we get into the whole arcade stick review, again, I'm going to plug this like I do until I get actual sponsors on this kind of content. My merchandise. HurtboxTV merchandise. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies. I have a mug. I don't know why. I just made that, but we have one. And I will try to add more stuff as the, as that whole perusing? Yeah, that's the word I want to use. The perusing into the merchandise market goes along. So, we have the Razer Panthera Evo, and I bought this. I tried to contact Razer about it. I think I got left on red, but regardless, I went and I picked this guy up, and considering that I liked the original Razer Panthera, I decided, you know, give this thing a shot and see if I liked it or not. And I do. I like it a lot. I did like the original Razer Panthera, and I like this one a lot. So, what is the Razer Panthera Evo? Well, Razer's had a pretty good track record when it came to arcade sticks. We had the Aatrox. It had some of it did have some issues, but for the most part, pretty okay stick, pretty good. It had a lot of features I liked. Didn't own one, but knew people who did, played on them. And then they did what what people like to call in the PC industry a refresh. And they came out with the Razer Panthera, which used the same mold and had a lot of the same features with a few extra ones added on top. And this stick was for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3. It came out a couple of years ago. And for $200, it's one of the best arcade sticks out on the market currently. And so, they refreshed, or what I originally thought when I heard about the name Razer Panthera Evo, I thought they just refreshed it again. But, to my surprise, this is completely different from the Razer Panthera. It's not a refresh, it's basically a brand new product. It's a brand new case, has brand new features, has a lot of its own things that make it separate from the Razer Panthera. And so, while I like the Razer Panthera and I like the Evo, there's like I said, some differences, and I'm gonna kind of get into those. First, I'm gonna start with the things I like, because there are a lot of things that I like on the Panthera Evo. And this thing is wobbly. I do not want it to fall over. It won't break, but I don't want it to fall over. So, on the front, well, actually, let's get to the unboxing first. Here's some B-roll of the unboxing. And what I do like about Razer and their products, the Razer had this as, the Razer Panthera had this as well. They're very well packaged. It came very sturdy. It came in very sturdy foam. It came wrapped pretty well, and it just wasn't damaged in shipping. I've never had Razer products damaged in shipping. They come from China really fast, by the way. I ordered this thing last Tuesday, or I ordered this thing last Monday, and it came in on Wednesday. It came here pretty damn quick. The packaging, it was well done, you know, like I said, well packaged. It came pretty safe. The only thing that I really dislike about the shiny buttons is that they were kind of scratched up. I tried to get some close-up shots of that. I don't know what it is. I think it's because they just get shoved into a bin, and then when they're made, they're just kind of stuffed in there. But the glossy tops get scratched kind of easy. It's whatever. So after you unbox the stick, you know, you get your manual, you get everything. Packaging's really nice. And then you have the stick. So let's talk about the things that I do like about the stick. First off, I love that it isn't the same case as the Aatrox and the Panthera. While I do love that case, I feel like it really would have served no purpose to make a stick with all these features and gave it a new title. This is the Panthera Evo. It's supposed to be different, and it has a lot of different features. So on the front here, we have a very, I want to say it's a pretty clean layout. You have your home button, your touchpad, L3, R3, your select, you know, mic mute and mic on or whatever it is, I guess, volume and mic buttons, which is, it's pretty crazy to see that they added that feature along with a mic input or a mic jack. They also went and changed the stick, well, not the stick, but they changed the buttons. So the stick is a Sanwa stick. It's how you'd expect a Sanwa stick to operate. It's pretty good. But the buttons themselves are different. They look like Sanwa's on appearance, but when you open it up, they're actually Razer micro switches. I forget which micro switches they are. They have like red, green, and orange, green, and yellow. And I want to say these are oranges, but if you guys remember my Mixbox modding video, I actually put some Razer micro switches in there. I think I put the oranges in there, and I did like them. You know, their Razer keyboards are pretty alright. I've had a couple, and I like their micro switches. You know, I can't really tell the difference anyway. I'm not a PC person, or I'm not really a big play video games on the keyboard kind of guy. I just type and edit videos with them. So, to my surprise, they were actually pretty good. I didn't mind them so much. They're not like Hori's. I mean, I still prefer Hori Hayabusas over everything else. Hey look, I can say something nice about Hori on this show. But, yeah, they played fine. I played a bunch of Tekken 7 on them on the PS4, and I mean, they're just as good as Sanwa's. Razer did a pretty good job, and besides gamer fingers, if you guys know what gamer fingers are, they're basically the same thing. It's just that with gamer fingers you can use cherry switches, or I think Razer switches as well. These ones, however, the only downside to them is that I think they're soldered on. You know, you kind of can't, I don't think you can just pull out the micro switches and switch them out easy. That would probably be a whole nother bag of worms to open, can of worms to open. The other thing that I really do like about how this stick is that with the original Panthera, you couldn't necessarily change the artwork on them. You had to take a heat gun to it, and you had to basically take the top off. Usually that ended up snapping the top, and then you would have to go buy a plexi, and then there you go, you can mod the artwork. Or get it done by Layers FGC, the company that Arcade Shock, you can get their services through Arcade Shock. And I've seen them do it on Pantheras. They do a really great job, by the way. It's pricey, but it's a pretty damn good job. With this, what I really like about it is that the front panel, or the plexi, is like this tinted plexi that's removable, which it's a little strange to remove at first. You have to remove it from the back, but once you do, so yeah, camera died on me. Or camera cut out. So what I was talking about, the top panel. So the way it works is you take 6 screws off and you take 1 screw here. I didn't know that at first, so I was wondering why the hell didn't the thing come off? And, you know, I don't really see that. The only thing I can say that I don't like about taking the front panel off, I don't understand the need for the little screw that goes here. I took it off, and I haven't put it back on. I just don't see any need for it. Seems to be stable enough as it is, so I don't really see why that had to be there. After you remove the panel, it's got this kind of tint to it, which I think makes it a little classy. It's pretty nice, in all honesty. It's kind of like a PC. It kind of reminds me of like a PC side panel. You know, it was like tempered glass or whatever side panel, which I don't know why Razer would do that. It's not like they make computer parts or anything. But for real though, I do like the ability to change artwork on it without having to take a heat gun to the top of it and possibly breaking the top. The whatever it was on the Panthera, I forget what it's called. I didn't do it. My friend permanently is borrowing that stick from me. He loves that stick, so it's just permanently at his house, even though I bought it. But I have this one, so whatever. We both have razor sticks now. The two buttons on the side are Sanwa's. It's weird, but they are. These ones aren't. But other than that, it does have a couple other really good features that I like, and that's what you see on the back for the cable compartment, as well as on the back of the stick. So what I really do like about the cable compartment is not only is it very open and very spacious, it has a very cool design to it. Instead of being a tab that you push down that could break, the door could break, you know, it makes it harder. I know that on a lot of these sticks that I have, especially a lot of the Fusions that you see here, some of them, the compartment doors are broken because of the constant opening and closing. The Obsidian has a hard time of opening it up and closing it just because it's a very snug fit. This one is just, it's spring-loaded. You open it up, and it'll be shown on the B-roll, but you open it up, it closes on its own. And they also included a very nice feature, which is you can pull the cable out, and you have this nice little notch on the side that you can just keep the cable connected that way. I would have much rather preferred to see the quick disconnect that you saw back on the original Razer Panthera, but you know, this is all right too. It's not too bad. It's just, I do wish that you had, I do wish we could have gotten that, the screw-in quick disconnect. I do like those. I have them on my my Make stick case, my custom stick, as well as the TE2 that you see right there, the JoJo's one. That one has it, and they're generally my favorite way of doing things, but I can see why, considering you can't open this up like a normal Panthera, but I'll talk about that in a second. The last thing that I really do like about this stick is that when I was doing my drone review video, I mentioned the fact that I really like the quick access to taking the ball top off. Instead of having to take the back panel off and being able to access the bottom of your lever there, you can instead pull this little thing out, and there you go. You now have access to the flathead, or to the flathead that you have to put in to unscrew the ball top. This is one of my favorite features that I said I wish more fight stick developers or companies would put in their product. And this one is actually easier than Quanva's. With the drones, you kind of have to twist to pull it out. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult at first. But with this one, it's just a little thing you pull out. There you go. You have access to it. You can remove the ball top, and you have access to removing the plexi. You have to do this to take the plexi off. When it came to performance, I didn't notice any real difference in input delay. It seems fine. It's probably one of the better ones. I've tried some pretty bad ones. That Chinese stick that does not deserve to be named is one of the bad ones. But overall, the stick performs fine. I played some sets with people with this stick in Tekken 7. Didn't have any issues with it. The execution on it was fine. Everything, like I said, was fine. Now, I'm gonna get to the things that I kind of dislike about this stick. And the first thing is that it is a lot of screws if you want to get to the internals of this stick. I can kind of see why there's a bunch of screws, but you seriously have to take out like 9 or 10 screws. I think 11 screws in total, just so you can get to the inside of the stick if you want to change anything out. Now, I can see why they did this, but at the same time, I like to mod my sticks. I like to look at the internals. I like to switch stuff out and try new parts with my favorite sticks. And this is kind of a hassle. You have to go through a bunch of screws, and not only that, your screwdriver has to be long enough. I tried to open this thing up for B-roll so that you could see the internals of the stick, and I had to go and fish out a long screwdriver because my iFixit kit just wasn't long enough. My screwdriver in the iFixit kit couldn't reach some of these. It could reach a couple, but it couldn't reach all of them. And then you have to have different sizes because there's smaller ones, there's bigger ones. Like there's a like I said, really tiny screw right underneath the dust washer for the lever. But after you get through all of that, you get to see the internals of the stick, and for some reason they glued the 5-pin connector to the Sanwa, which I guess it's so that it doesn't become loose in shipping, because it is a pain in the ass to try and open up if something like that happens, if you get this and it somehow came loose. The buttons, you know, they do have quick disconnects, which is nice. At least if these aren't your fancy, you can pull them out and place actual Sanwas or Seimitsus or whatever buttons you use, and they will function the same way. The other thing that I don't like is the fact that they did get rid of the ability to just open the stick up. I do love that feature on arcade sticks. That's why I like the TE2 and the original Panthera so much. But I guess it's kind of a compromise. You either get the ability to put artwork on, or you don't. Or you get the ability to open the stick up with ease. So, you know, it's kind of a trade-off. The other thing that I kind of dislike about the stick is that there isn't really on the back enough anti-slip support. There's these two grips that go along the top and the bottom, and they do an okay enough job, but I found that when I was sitting down with just the stick in my lap, it did tend to kind of slide a little bit because it wasn't properly, you know, gripping on those two parts. I think anti-slip material on the sides as well, the parts that aren't covered with them should be covered with anti-slip material, just so it actually is more secure on your lap. But you know, that might just be me. I don't know about other people. It might be easier they might not have the same issue as me, but that's definitely something that I had. But other than that, you're getting a really good stick for the price. If you don't like Sanwas, then, you know, you can always go through the hassle of opening it up, which, yeah, it is a pain in the ass to open up if you want to mod the stick, but you kind of have to make some compromises, I guess, to get features that you want. Like, people who have the Razer Panthera have to go through a tedious process to change the artwork out. You have to go through a tedious process to change the buttons and stick out. I mean, it's just kind of a compromise, I guess. And it's not all too difficult. I mean, yeah, it's a lot easier on most of these sticks back here, but it's honestly nothing. It's just time consuming. You just have to remember to take out all these screws before, you know, don't try and rip the front panel off. You're gonna break this if you try and just yank it off. Remember that that screw is there, and keep it off when you put your panel back on. It has, honestly, modability wise, it's not bad. You know, it's just, a lot of the negatives of it just aren't that bad. It's weird. I have some weird ass dislikes for it, but the dislikes aren't that bad. It's a good stick, and you should get it. You should get it. You should also get the Razer Panthera, the original one. There really is no should you buy this or that. It just all depends on your preference. Do you want ease of accessibility when it comes to modding? Get a Razer Panthera. If you don't care about that, get the Evo. If you want to be able to mod artwork, get the Evo. If you don't care about it, but you might do it sometime down the line, you can get the original Panthera. They're both good sticks. It's not like the Aatrox to the Panthera where it was a refresh. This is kind of like the younger brother of the Panthera, which is trying to be sleek and cool and hip with the kids. It's just a good stick. You know, I like the ability to change the artwork on it, and considering that I've opened up my Obsidian and all these sticks dozens of times, I don't mind having to open and unscrew these things just to get to the internals and change out everything. You know, I'll probably be doing videos on that in the future with this stick, just to see if I can change the micro switches and see about doing other things to it. So that's really all I can say, is that it's a great stick. I enjoy it. You should go buy one if you can. Go buy the original Panthera if that's what you want. I don't have to do a review on the Panthera now, because basically you know what I think about the Panthera. So yeah, that's really it for the video. It's a good stick. So if you liked it, thumbs up. Disliked it, thumbs down. Like, comment. I already said thumbs up. What the? Comment, subscribe, click the bell, share the video, and let me know if there's any other arcade sticks you want to see me do a review of. I'll try and get to those eventually. I do have a backlog of them that I want to get out, and some other things that I want to do. If you can't tell, I still sound a little sick, but whatever. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.